The curse of Oak Island has haunted humanity for centuries. Different minds have created different speculations, and some of them have even found physical evidence. So today, I am bringing you 3 wildest treasure stories about the island. The curse began to find different backings after the legend of Captain Kidd became a folklore, a notorious pirate who is rumored to have buried treasure on Oak Island. It is said that he placed a curse on the treasure to protect it from being discovered. Fast forward to 2023, June 7th, 2023. The Lagena brothers made a significant discovery in their search for the Oak Island treasure with a new scanning tool called ground-penetrating radar. They were excavating in Smith's Cove, an area of the island believed to be the treasure's location, when they found a large stone slab buried 10 feet under the ground with strange symbols of 1 inch carved into it. The slab weighs around 1,000 pounds and is composed of limestone and about 3 feet broad, 2 feet tall, and 6 inches thick. The Lagena brothers sought professional aid for interpretation because they thought the symbols on the slab had some significance despite being unintelligible. Sadly, thus far, their efforts haven't been fruitful. This is the first significant discovery in the area since they started looking in 2015. The brothers are relentlessly digging in the region in the hopes of finding further leads, since they are persuaded that the slab may contain a hint as to the whereabouts of the riches. Besides the stone slab, they have also discovered several other priceless things at Smith's Cove, including coins, wooden planks, and beams, among other artifacts, over the years. But that's not all. The brothers claim that these discoveries show a sophisticated flood control mechanism was in place to safeguard the jewels, bringing them one step closer to finding the treasure buried on Oak Island. And this time, they go on many different terrain and paths. On June 14th, 2023, the team discovered a broken piece of old metal, adding more confusion in this decade-old treasure hunt. The metal has a diameter of approximately 1 inch and is about ½ inch thick. It is made of a copper alloy and has an illegible raised pattern on one side that shows a face or human form. According to the brothers, this metal object was part of a coin made in the 17th century, which is a significant hint that Oak Island's treasures were hidden there then. Although unclear, the experts think it to be a chunk of money. Who knows? On top of that, they struggle to explain the meaning of the coin's design. This metal chunk is the second most significant discovery in the area, which signifies yet another crucial development in the ongoing search for Oak Island's treasures. The lads continue to scan the environment intently in search of fresh cues. To them, the design appeared as an ambiguous face of a human. The metal item that was unexpectedly found 12 feet below the surface weighs barely 0.5 ounces. Moving on with the discoveries, on June 21st, 2023, the Lagena brothers made another important discovery, an unusual little piece of wood. It was initially built from oak, which has a remarkable texture. According to the Lagena brothers, the wood could have...
Share your opinion in the comments below and subscribe to our channel for more updates. The Lagena brothers have finally found gold on Oak Island, a small, tree-covered island off the coast of Nova Scotia. For over 200 years, treasure hunters have been obsessed with the island due to legends that it holds an incredible treasure, including gold, jewels, and ancient artifacts. However, the treasure has remained just out of reach until now. After a decade of high-tech exploration, heavy drilling, and following every possible clue, the Lagena brothers and their team have found actual proof that treasure might be closer than ever before. The team focused on borehole DN11.5, which was one of several carefully chosen drill sites based on previous discoveries and high-tech surveys. They had already encountered hints of man-made structures underground, so as the drill bit punched through the ground, all eyes were on the results. At around 90 feet deep, something unusual happened. The drill broke through into open space, meaning they found a void or empty chamber underground. This was a huge deal because natural underground voids are extremely rare in this area. If there is open space down there, someone put it there, and that someone may have been hiding treasure. To find out, the team called in geologist Terry Matheson to take a closer look. He observed that the void at DN11.5 lined up perfectly with 2 other boreholes, DN12.5 and DN13.5, where previous drilling had also uncovered evidence of tunnels. That meant one thing. This was not just some random hole. they had discovered a part of a larger underground structure. To find out what was inside the newly discovered void, the team extracted core samples, or cylindrical chunks of earth and material pulled straight from the hole. As they examined the samples, they hit something solid. This was wood at 90 feet deep, which was man-made and almost certainly old. The team sent the sample to a lab for testing to confirm whether this wood came from a natural collapse, an old searcher tunnel, or something much older and more significant. The team at the Oak Island Interpretive Center conducted a lab test using an X-ray fluorescence spectrometer to detect tiny traces of elements in solid objects. They found that the wood contained common elements, but they also found gold. This was significant because wood does not randomly contain gold, meaning either it had been physically touching the wood at some point in the past, or water containing dissolved gold had soaked into the wood over time. The team now has a clear direction for their next move, as finding gold in the wood confirms that something valuable is buried in this area. With evidence from boreholes DN 11.5, DN 12.5, and DN 13.5 all lining up, they have a clear direction for their next move. The team plans to continue drilling and pulling up samples to find the legendary Oak Island treasure. They have also found gold in the old shaft, which was originally over 80 feet deep, abandoned, and barely standing. Recent tests had detected high traces of gold in the surrounding water, meaning that something valuable could be nearby. If gold was in the water, it could be coming from an undiscovered treasure vault. Dumas Contracting Limited was responsible for the excavation and aimed to drill 12 probe holes, 3 per wall, to search for any signs of man-made structures or valuable materials. Brandon Vanderhooft from Dumas guided the crew through the process, targeting a specific depth where past drilling had hit a 10-foot-wide underground void just southwest of the shaft. As the powerful hydraulic earth drill cut through the walls of the shaft, it moved effortlessly through soil and clay, but then punched into open space. That's where they found another void, right where they expected it. This was not a natural cavity in the ground, but a tunnel or chamber. The discovery immediately made the team wonder if this was a collapsed hiding place for treasure or a connection to the money pit. To confirm whether this was a man-made void, the drill pulled up chunks of material like soil, clay, and something else. It was found that this was buried timber, meaning a structure once existed down there. If gold in the water had also seeped into the wood over time, they were officially on the right path. The Lagena brothers discovered gold in a wood on Oak Island, marking a significant discovery in their long-standing treasure hunt. Emma Culligan, the team's archaeometallurgist, used an X-ray fluorescence spectrometer to scan the wood, detecting even the smallest traces of metals. The gold detected in the wood measured at 0.11% concentration, which is significant as gold is one of the rarest elements in nature. This was direct evidence of gold being nearby, and the team realized they were not just chasing legends anymore. The garden shaft was an active lead, with a 10-foot void nearby, potentially a treasure chamber, and gold traces in the water suggesting something valuable underground. The gold was confirmed in the wood, meaning gold objects had been in contact with this structure. The team also found the mysterious gold brooch a few seasons ago, which they
lead cross and a stone with the Latin inscription 70 feet below. They were able to locate several abnormalities in the swamp using a range of techniques, including sonar and ground-penetrating radar, which they suspect might represent the remnants of buried buildings. One of the most intriguing oddities is a big rectangular object around 70 feet below the surface. The crew is excited to dig into this to see what they uncover, since they think it may be a treasure box. The crew must not harm what they seek, since the marsh is challenging and dangerous. Eventually, they excavated a tiny area of the item, but could not see what was within. In a later episode, they will have to go back to the swamp to carry on their hunt. Yet, the crew made modest strides on other parts of the island. They started digging a new shaft close to the marsh and continued to drill in the money pit location. The crew made some progress in their hunt for riches, even though they made no significant finds in this episode. They are optimistic that the forthcoming episodes will include something important. As more proof that Oak Island has long been the location of covert operations, or more precisely, clichés, the presence of a nearby treasure, the researchers also discovered traces of earlier human activity. That's not it, though. The real deal was the map they found on the island, which dated back to 1647. It was a French copy, with the labels hatch, valve, and anchor, suggested significant connections. In particular, it suggested that the money may have come from Africa, raising the intrigue around Oak Island. The brothers are convinced this map will point them toward their lost money. The series has followed their journey for over a decade, and it will be interesting to see if they can finally solve the mystery. The story goes that, in 1795, while on an adventure on the island, a group of boys around the age of 13 discovered a dip in the earth. They began digging since they believed it to be a fake hole, and as they dug, they found multiple layers of wood and other things. Yet, a mysterious flood stopped them in their tracks, filling the hole with water and blocking any further excavation. As soon as word of the discovery spread, treasure seekers from all over the world flocked to Oak Island to look for the loot. The Onslow Company, a group of financiers, organized the first orderly excavation of the Money Pit in the year 1803. This specific team was able to dig down to a depth of 90 feet before the flooding, which happened in the pit once more, hampered their attempts. Meanwhile, the excavations were permanently halted in 1909 as the Oak Island Treasure Company went out of business. Since then, several other parties have tried to find the treasure buried on Oak Island, but the riddle of the Money Pit has remained unsolved to this day.